Good morning, folks. How do you do? So, I am reflecting on things that were norms when I was a kid, and I am now getting new meaning out of the things that I discarded as just me. It is making more sense to me right now. When I was a kid, a lot of the men were the breadwinners. As I was saying, when I was a kid, the men were the breadwinners. And when anybody would ask a man, especially the ones who were high value, what kind of woman they wanted, they always wanted a woman who gave them peace. I mean, that translated in that community to a woman who let them do whatever the hell they wanted and didn't question anything. And in return, they will pay the bill. They will be the breadwinners, and they expected that to be good. You know, I thought those men were a-holes. I thought they were a-holes. And the way they treated their women was disgusting. And I still do think that they were a-holes, and the way they treated their women were disgusting. Bring life full circle to where I am at right now. Trying to make progress with my life. Trying to focus on business. Finding too many distractions a lot of the time. Not able to focus on the business that I want to focus on, because there are other things on my mind that scatters my mind. When anything happens that disrupts my peace, it disrupts my business. It disrupts my thinking. It disrupts my ability to figure out and to see opportunities. It does. And so, having sat down to think about those things recently, I have come to the conclusion that peace is paramount. For breadwinning, peace is paramount. For progress making, peace is paramount. Those men, although their requirements and their designs are not exactly to my taste, had discovered something quite fundamental. In order for you to be progressive, you need peace. You cannot have aggravation around you and have good business ideas. It doesn't work. You cannot have aggravation around you and to have the effort to focus, to chase. You will be exhausted by the unnecessary emotions, and you will waste some of your life force on emotions, and you will not be able to do the things that you want to do at the rate at which you should if there is no peace. When you have peace, and that's why people go on holiday to Bali and to these places, you go there, there is nothing else that distracts you, and you can empty your mind. When you have peace, you can empty your mind of all the garbage. And when you are able to empty your mind is such a powerful magnet for positive things, for productive things, but you've got to have that empty mind in the first place in order to be in with a chance of this. As I was pondering over the need for peace and the role of peace in this progressive journey, those men that I called a-holes came to my mind. And I understood why those men required their women to be quiet. They required their women to sit still, sit tight. They required their women just to be beautiful and to allow them to go and to do and to be, and to not nag them and disturb them. Now I get it, because you cannot be productive with a nag. No, you cannot. When somebody is busy nagging, oh, your brain will be cluttered. You will not be able to empty. Because you are not able to empty, you are not able to zone in on the thinking that could bring you progressive engagements. It will not. Your brain will be scattered. Your life force will be watered down, and your impact will be diminished. Peace is a very important ingredient. whilst I was thinking about the men who were a-holes, I also began to think of the women who are successful in business. And the most successful businesses, like business women like Oprah Winfrey, also have something in common. Many of them. So Oprah is in a very transactional relationship with Stedman, isn't she? Oprah is the boss. There is no question about it. Stedman is there. But Stedman does not disturb Oprah and does not influence what Oprah does. I am very sure Oprah does not explain nothing to Stedman. Oprah, like a lot of those men, does her breadwinning on her terms, on her conditions, without engagement. And she's able to be decisive in making choices because there is one person at the realm of affairs. Many women who are married with children attempt to do business and it doesn't work because many women with husbands and children do not have the peace of mind to do the things that you want. So this morning I woke up quite early wanting to clear my mind. And one of the things that I do to clear my mind is to read useless stories. So I went to sit on the toilet to read my useless story, to try and empty my mind, to focus. My daughter, Mom, when do you need to get to work? I gave her a time. Mom, shouldn't you have a shower? Mom, shouldn't you do? Mom, at some point I had to say to the girl, I am your mom, not your kid. Give me space. Give me space. This morning I did not manage to get to the emptying of the head. And it was done because of love. It was done because of concern. It was done because she wants to help me not to be late for my thing. But that loving action of hers also means that today I am walking to work with all my clutter in my head. And when there is clutter in my head, I have come to know productivity is a challenge. Certainly, strategic engagement is impossible. It's impossible. So this morning, I'm going to go and teach my class. This evening, I may well come and pick them up and take them to the university. Not necessarily but I want to put them in the university in a space, or I might get them to go do something so I can have the space to go to the university library or whatever that is, to go and sit on my own and empty my mind. An empty mind is desperately needed by me and my business right now. But it is a luxury that can be difficult for me to achieve a lot of the time. I wanted to talk to you about the need for peace in your quest for progress, so that you can start thinking about the things you need to establish peace. Again, not everybody gets divorced just to get peace. People might need to come to understandings with their partners so that we can get peace. I have a friend of mine who had a conversation with his wife around the same thing, and at the time it didn't connect. And his conversation in my presence, because I was the mediator, was, listen, everybody's survival depends on my performance, including you and including the kids you care so much about. Well, my performance depends on the lack of disturbance that you give me. So think about that when you want to start your drama. The more dramatic you are, the more you disturb my peace, the less I am able to perform. And he was in sales. And if he doesn't perform, the bonuses don't come. If the bonuses don't come, well, what he's able to afford for all of them is diminished. And that's certainly not what she wants. And that was actually a negotiating point for the two of them. And yeah, I mediated it, I observed it, but the actual importance of the peace to the process had not connected then. It is now connecting in my poor, simple brain. I am doing summer school, and I'm very creatively doing new things in summer school because, again, there isn't a lot of noise in my head when I am in summer school. All of us know that we are only working together for 5 weeks. There is no need for aggravation. There is no need for political plotting. There's none. And that helps. That helps loads. That helps a whole lot more. And for that reason, when I'm planning the activities to do with summer school, things are just coming to my mind. Boom, boom, bam, bam, just like that. Yeah. I love the creativity that brings to me. And I'm sharing it with you in the hope that those of you who have got creative blocks, unexplained creative blocks, you really ought to do something but you can't get yourself to do it. It's because there is often something else on your mind, weighing on your mind, exhausting your life force, leaving very little for you and your creative juices in the end. And if you intend to be creative, if you need to be creative, then it becomes imperative that you learn to empty your mind, remove yourself from the circumstances that are stressful, that detracts from your peace. So my question this morning is, what disturbs your peace is part of the reason why you are broke. You see, when you are poor and you don't know how you're going to pay your children's school fees, for 6 months before the fees are due, you will be fretting over how you will pay the fees. You see, your thoughts are consumed by how you will pay the fees. You don't get any time to think about what you should do to make the money to pay the fees. Your worry is on not being able to pay the fees. You don't get time to think about what to do to get the money for the fees. And for that reason, when the time comes to pay the fees, guess what? It will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. However, if that stress of not being able to pay was somehow removed and your mind was available to think of what you can do to make the money, and your effort was zeroed on how to execute and make the money to pay the fees, you'll be good. And in fact, even better, for those people who know that their children's school fees will be paid, they can then focus their mind on the things that they are doing, especially if they can make it things that they enjoy. When they are enjoying those things, they will be doing it creatively, they will be doing it fluidly. And where was he going? They will do it fluidly, you will do it beautifully, you will execute it effortlessly, and guess what? You will be an attraction to money, and it will come to you. You will be an attraction to money, and it will come to you without begging, without asking too much. So if you have started doing all the things we have been describing, but you are not actually able to execute on the things that you know you should do, or you are even executing but it's not going anywhere. Your stumbling block might well be the lack of peace, noise in your environment which detracts your focus from where it should be. Other things that rechannel and redirect your energy to places that may not be so productive, especially when your energy is channeled towards firefighting instead of strategic engagement. Firefighting is one of the things, as I said, trying to fight the fire of not being able to pay your children's school fees will get in the way of the strategies that can help you make the money to pay the fees. And so if you're a firefighter, it's very difficult for you to be a strategic engager. So find ways to quench your fires. Find ways to quench your fires. Find ways to silence your noise. Silence your noise. Deal with the distractions. And as I said, most of the successful people are single for that reason. If you listen to any of the big people who have done incredible things, those who were married when they were trying to elevate their businesses, when they were scaling up, they just couldn't remain married. Marriage was enough of a distraction. Their focus on the business began to wind their partners up. The partners were starved of attention, so they advocated for attention. And that advocacy for attention becomes noise. And so at some point, they end those relationships in the pursuit of peace. They do. It's common for you to find men like Jeff Bezos getting married at their ages now after the businesses have become successful, after they are no longer on the pursuit of peace. Now he is happy for home life. He is happy to come home because he doesn't need that for his business. And these are the choices that you need to make. And those of you who are choosing to remain married and not getting your businesses to launch at the scale the unmarried ones, the single ones, the bachelors are scaling, well, that's your answer. That is your opportunity cost. To grow businesses astronomically often requires unwavered attention, undiluted focus, undivided attention. And if you are not able to give that, you measure your success by the extent to which you can grant the undivided attention, and you call it a successful day. You cannot give a watered down attention and expect the same outcomes as those who are able to give everything, their entire focus, to their level up. I've been with many people in business. We started at similar places. Their businesses have launched, they have taken off, and mine has not launched to the same extent. And I had wondered, I am a more skilled business person than some of these people. I am more in tune with what I'm doing. It would have made sense for me to make comparable progress to what they have made, but I have not. And the question actually always comes, how? Why? Because I want to know the hows and whys in order to be able to address what I can. And as I explored the how and whys, it became very apparent to me. What those people had that I didn't have was absolute focus. They don't have children to worry about. They don't have spouses to consider. They don't work full-time like I do. I had a lot of things going on at the same time, and that meant that absolute focus focus has been impossible. Well, if absolute focus were impossible, then absolute outcomes would be impossible also. It stands to reason. And to be honest, understanding this simple thing has been life transforming in the management of my realities as I am on this journey. It's been very good to know that this is as far as I can take it. It's wonderful to know that I'm getting as good as I can get based on all the things that I'm willing to give. And now I'm at peace. Whatever I am getting out of whatever engagement I am able to give, I accept it as that which I can get. And that acceptance has brought me a lot of peace. If I'm not able to give something, then I cannot expect its outcomes. Peace. So today, I pray that this conversation will help you get a realization. I hope that those of you who are fretting over things, those of you who are demanding outcomes of situations that are not able to deliver the outcomes you are demanding and stressing yourself in the process, may finally come to an understanding of why your outcomes are going to be limited to what it is unless you change something. Then the question becomes, do you want to change something? For me, do I want to get divorced? No, I don't. Do I want to sacrifice my relationship with my children? No, I don't. Do I want to be present and available for my family? Hell yes, I do. Does that mean that I'm going to be able to focus on my business? Hell no, it doesn't. Which of those is important to me? The family. The family is more important to me than anything else. So it means that my outcomes will be family first, and whatever I make out of business, of the situations and circumstances prevailing, I will call it a success. And that has brought me peace. Peace. So no, business outcomes are not necessarily taking off at the astronomical rate they could, but that's because I have prioritized other things, and yep, I will choose that same priorities again and again and again going forward. I have no regrets about the priorities that I place, and so I should have no regrets about the outcomes that my business gets me. I should have no qualms accepting what my business gets me. That's what you will get with what I'm willing to give. And as long as I'm not willing to give the absolute focus that we require to get some of the business outcomes that I admire, this is it. This is it. And it's a very peaceful position also. Yeah. Knowledge is power. Knowing what brings you there and how it brings you there. Yeah, Maggie. How you doing? I trust you are well. Yours truly is trying to make sense of life. And I hope that these musings of trying to make sense of my own life somehow helps you also to make some sense of your life. Because understanding is irreplaceable, really. And I think understanding brings peace. Knowledge and understanding are powerful on this journey. So may the peace of the Lord be with you. May you know the things that could bring you peace. May you have the bravado to pursue those things, and may you have the grace to find them when you take those actions. I'll see you guys on the flip side very soon.